Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning into the next episode of the APV Podcast. My name is Kiara Ferguson, and I am here with Linda Kimel. And today we are going to be discussing vision screening in school, whether that is preschool, also into school age, from kindergarten up, and why that is so important. So I'm going to go ahead and allow Linda to introduce herself and also give us a little bit about her background.
Thank you, Kiara. My name is Linda Kimel. I've been a certified school nurse for 31 years. I am also certified through the Illinois Department of Public Health to be a vision and hearing screener. I work primarily with elementary and special needs students, although I have worked the full range. In my role as a school nurse, I do get to do vision and hearing screenings.
So then you're very firsthand, boots on the ground. You're, kind of the first person there that gets to interact with that child and get those results that ultimately leads into maybe, a referral and a kid ultimately receiving the care that they need. So that's really important to have someone like you that's there on the front lines and working with these children.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So then you kind of answered one of my questions, which was, what state are you, licensed in? Where do you work? And you mentioned that that's Illinois. And so what are the mandates like in your state? Is it mandated? Is there a certain age or grade that vision screening has to happen in? How does that work there?
Mandates vary greatly among the 50 states, goes from no mandates whatsoever to highly regulated. Illinois is one of the fairly well-regulated states. We do require a professional eye exam before entry into kindergarten, and we require screenings at ages 3, 4, then either kindergarten or first grade, depending on when they enter school. We usually do kindergarten. Second grade, and then we also do older kids as well. We also are mandated to screen every kid with special education annually and any child who is new to the state. So we have quite a few that we have to screen every year.
Right. So you guys are definitely busy, and it's a large number of kids that it sounds like is being taken care of on a yearly basis and receiving a screening, which it's very interesting for me to see that in Illinois that they're taking such a high priority in screening younger children, whereas we see that in a lot of other states, there isn't that high priority with, the younger population, 2, 3, 4, and vision screening. So I think that's pretty interesting.
Yes. And in Illinois, you have to pass a course that involves bookwork and a practical experience to be certified as a vision and hearing screener.
Okay.
So that's different from some states. Some states just say, go do it.
Right. So they're actually giving you some type of, training. You're actually certified. It's not just, in some states, like you said, a teacher, maybe with no training at all, maybe doing these vision screenings, or a volunteer. So you guys are actually certified, know what you're looking at, know what these results mean. And so that's really important as well for the ultimate success of these screenings, that you guys aren't just aimlessly screening, a child and hoping to receive some result. You actually know what you're looking for.
Hope so.
Right. You hope so, right? So we also touched on how often screenings are done, of course, in school and what grades and what age, and also who does the screening. So in the school, is it primarily the school nurse that takes care of all the children?
Do you Not guys necessarily.
Okay.
In Illinois, it has to be somebody licensed by the Department of Public Health to do the screenings. Sometimes that is technicians, sometimes that's nurses, sometimes it's other people who they've hired just to be vision and hearing screening team. There are some preschool teachers that get themselves trained. So it's whoever gets trained. In the public schools, it tends to be the nurses. In the private schools, it's a hodgepodge of people that they can find to come in and do it.
Right. Okay. So definitely wide variety of professionals in the sense of that they have that training that are able to come in and serve these kids in the different schools that they're working within. And so in Illinois, I understand that, of course, we touched on every state is not mandated to screen, but specifically your state is. Now, are the mandates the same across the counties, or is there specific mandates different for school districts or per county?
It's a statewide mandate, so it impacts
Okay.
every school, private or public, and Head Start and all those programs.
Right. Okay. And so the next thing that I want to kind of touch on is, of course, because you are boots on the ground and you get to see this, is the impact that the screening that you're doing has on these children. And so what are some common issues that you see in students that are referred?
Well, with the preschoolers, you want to catch them as early as possible. The challenge is that most of the screenings require a matching skill. And some of your 3-year-olds don't have a matching skill, or
Right.
they're not mature enough to follow the instructions. So in those cases, you would want to refer for a professional eye exam, because we want to catch them as early as possible. I do find that we do a pretty good job of picking up in the acuity area, how clearly they're seeing things. But there's a lot of kids that have issues related to how the eye muscles work and lazy eye and those types of things. And if we don't catch those early, it leads to vision loss down the road. So we need to really be looking for those types of things.
Right. And so I also understand that you said that of course, entering kindergarten, students are mandated to get a comprehensive eye exam from an eye professional. But how important is it that a parent, once they receive that referral, that they make sure that they're following up on that and they're taking their child to see, a doctor and not just stopping at that referral?
Well, that's critical. No eye screening program is worth anything without good follow-up. What we've done is we've sorted out those who seem to be doing fine from those who may have a problem. And so we're prioritizing, let's get these kids that didn't pass the screening in for that eye exam. Let's catch any problem earlier, so we're not going to end up with amblyopia, down the road. It's sad how many kids I'll pick up second grade who didn't follow through early and now have amblyopia. And that's a totally preventable problem. So that one tears at my heart when I see that.
Right.
So
And
I do a lot of work with the parents to get them to the eye doctor. Talking to them, a lot of programs just send a letter and nobody follows up. That's not follow up. I will call the parents and find out what's going on, if they need reminders for appointments. Sometimes I've even brought them in and done the vision screening on them so they could see exactly what it was I asked their child to do or what their child couldn't do. I will help them find appointments. Sometimes I have to find them resources to pay for exams. So the legwork is intense on the follow-up, but that's the critical part.
Right. And I'm sure that those parents end up being very appreciative of all that you've done and, helping them receive those resources. And of course, it's lovely to have someone who's passionate about you behind those vision screenings that are willing to go through and find all of those resources and really be that resource themselves to the parent. But unfortunately, not every program has someone that has the time to do that and the resources to do that. So I think it's really critical that, there is a school nurse, it's like you, out there really being resourceful and helping kids, any way that they can outside of just sitting behind that screening equipment and turning out a result. So definitely praises to you and all the school nurses out there that are screening and, going the extra mile to find resources and get a kid, maybe to the doctor or just sitting with the parent and really helping them understand what you're seeing and how important that result is, and that it doesn't just stop there in your office, but that they also go and receive that follow-up care.
It's interesting because students who are having trouble hearing will come to you and say, I can't hear.
Right.
Students that are having trouble seeing don't tell you. For them, it just seems normal. So sometimes there's a lot of education that has to go on. I had one little boy that didn't pass his screening, and we got him to the eye doctor, and he turned out to have horrible acuity issues. And he came back the next week with his glasses on, and there was a picture over my desk. It was a mountain with children walking across the mountain. And he looked up at it and he said, there's people in that picture. I thought it was a collage of colors.
Wow.
And I just went, oh my.
Right.
How were you reading?
Right. And people don't understand that is really so impactful in the classroom when these children they can't see. They're looking at a book right in front of them or trying to see the board and they can't see it, how frustrating that can be, and what other issues not being able to see can lead to, down the road, frustration, because maybe, like you said, it's normal to them. They don't understand that that's not how they're supposed to see. Correct. And so
the other issue that I see as we get into the older age groups, they have gone to the doctor, been diagnosed, gotten glasses, and they won't wear them. So another thing that I do, it's not part of a vision screening program, but if I know children are supposed to have glasses, I keep touching base with them, say, where's your glasses? What can we do to get you to wear your glasses?
Right.
And alerting the teachers to the fact that this child is supposed to have glasses, because there's a lot of reasons why kids don't want to wear their glasses. But if in elementary school we can train them to wear them, we have much better luck down the road. If we let them get by without them in elementary school, it's almost impossible older to get them to wear their glasses.
Right. Good habits start early. So definitely, if you are a parent out there listening, your child has glasses, make sure that you're doing everything that you can to have them wear them. Make it fun, make a game out of them, make a reward, if they're wearing their glasses all day in school. But definitely we have to make sure that they're using them because they were prescribed their glasses for a reason. And so the next question that I have, and of course you kind of touched on that, but I want to see if you have any more stories. I'm sure you have a lot of what impact that you've seen a vision screening have on a child. How much of a difference has that screening and getting that new pair of glasses, or, just becoming aware of the fact that there is an issue, how much impact has that had on a child that you've witnessed?
There's always some who the teacher says they can't read their book. And when I give them big letters, they know what they are. So we screen their vision, we find out there is a problem, we get them some glasses, and then the teacher says they're finally making progress with their reading. So that's always really encouraging.
Yes. So sweet. All right. And so I think that is the last question that I have, but is there anything that you kind of want to leave the audience with? Anything that you want to leave, maybe a nurse, a parent?
I think for the parents, you need to be aware of what screenings are done in your state. You need to be aware of what training those people have and what type of instruments they're using. There are many places that use vision screening charts. There are some excellent ones out there, and there are some really bad ones out there, and they're still in use, and you think you're getting screened, but the tool is flawed. There are a lot of people that rely on the e-chart that you see in the doctor's offices.
Right.
Those charts have a very, very poor accuracy rate. They miss many more than they catch. So if parents are saying, well, they did this screening in the doctor's office and they're fine, they don't need anything, that worries me.
Right.
Because it can miss up to 90% of the kids who need help. Wow. I would encourage you to look for something more than that. So if your school is not doing screenings, your state doesn't do them, might be the time to get that at least baseline vision exam.
Right. All right. And kind of touching on that again, with that young baby that you may have, if you're a young mom, there is the infancy program where you are able to go out and find a provider that will provide that first eye exam for your baby. So it starts young. You can also really take care of their vision health when they're first out, and make sure that you're following up with your pediatrician, a professional, a screener. But we have to make sure that it starts at birth and that we're catching these issues and making sure that we're setting our children up for the best success that they can have in the classroom and in life. And just as important as your hearing is, your vision is too. So I really appreciate having you on here today, Linda, in this conversation. Again, thank you for coming and spending some time with me here right before Christmas. And I hope you have a happy holidays.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you. Happy holidays, everyone, from the APV Podcast.